How's everybody doing? I know I'm the last speaker of the session, so everybody's a little antsy to probably get to that beer, as I am. I just wanted to do a quick little introduction. My name is Trevor Hall. I have a really unique position within the mining industry, and so today I'm going to be presenting on mining's digital communications, utilizing web tools and data for enhanced value. A little bit of an introduction. Clear Creek Digital, we are actually a content producer, media company, social media, specifically for mining. We saw an opportunity because there's a knowledge gap between operations and the general public. Is there anybody who would disagree with that? There usually is not a hand raised. So what we do, we like to do is we're communicating social media agency providing strategies for mining and exploration companies to improve community engagement, social listening, and brand reputation. So what I do is I believe in the power of storytelling. I did not grow up in a mining family. I was only introduced to mining about 4 years ago, and I found that the industry has an incredible story to tell. But as Tom and his boss mentioned earlier, engineers aren't always great at everything, and communicating is one of them. But I love to tell a story about what a mining operation does. So this is where I live, social media. We believe in everything from Facebook to Instagram to even Snapchat. The reason Snapchat is so popular is it's the fastest growing social media network for the ages of 15 to 30. I know, did anybody attend Doug Silver's keynote presentation this morning? He said we got to do a better job of communicating to those kids about mining being an opportunity for a career. And that's where they're getting information, if you can believe it or not. So a couple of things that got me into believing that what I was doing was a positive thing. A couple of quotes: to attract the nation's best and brightest to U.S. mining necessitates that mining companies do a better job of telling its story. The CEO of Anglo American, the simple fact is, in today's world, we don't bring people with us. And that's where social media and online dialogue can play a huge part. And Steve Gardner, former president of this organization, SME, we have to be the first source of information. There is a lot going into those three quotes, because what happens online is it fulfills all of those three needs. Sorry, I'm running two computers here, so I'm getting a little frazzled. So let's talk about the current trends in online communications and marketing. In 2016 alone, 78% of U.S. Americans had a social network profile representing a 5% growth compared to the previous year. By 2018, that number is expected to jump up to 2.5 billion. We are in a very precedent time right now because of this thing, smartphone. Everybody have a smartphone in this room? Raise your hands, come on. Everybody's got one. Anybody have a social media network on the front page of their phone? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It's okay, you can look. About more than half. So what the smartphone did is we are in a paradigm culture shift because of this thing. For the first time in forever, we can take our smartphone, go to the bathroom, we can order something on Amazon, check our email, respond to an email, tweet a friend, and we can do all that before we even flush the toilet. In fact, 70% of people are claiming they take their smartphone to the toilet. This is we haven't seen a shift like this since television. And that's the honest truth. So how does that apply to mining? Well, what we need to start doing as mining organizations is start communicating value. And you start communicating value by focusing on the smartphone. Google even says a website, if it's not mobile responsive, so if it doesn't come up on a smartphone very well, they're going to dock you. So if somebody does any sort of searching for a mining company or anything to do with mining keywords, if your website is not mobile friendly, the likelihood of you coming up on the first page or even the second page is probably going to be slim to none. And that's why this stuff is so important. So the most effective communications has the user in mind. That's where the marketing trend is now. It's not about you as a company or an organization. It's about you communicating with the user's best intent. Can they find you? Does your website work well? Are you on social media? Are you communicating and listening to them? If you aren't participating in that type of experience, then you're frankly losing out on getting more publicity for your organization. The communication funnel has changed. The old thought that we put our information out there on the website, it's up to them to go find it, it's dead. It's no longer the point. You as a company, it's up to you to put your information up anywhere people can find you. Because they don't care if it's up on your website, they care if it's up on your website, up on your social media, your Facebook, your Twitter, your blog, all that type of stuff. So the best companies also provide experiences. And I think what really brought me into the mining industry, not only because I think it's incredible, and we've got met a lot of great people through it, is for decades the industry has been a closed doors industry. If you're not a part of it, or if you don't understand it, we're not going to tell you how to explain the breadth of it because it's hard to do in a matter of minutes. But we really need to change that, and we start doing that, provide experiences. And through content, and through video, and through social media, you can welcome people into your operations. You can put a camera on a drag line and show them what it's like to operate a drag line. I saw a great video, I think it was from Barrick maybe, about how they process in gold bars. So they went into the processing center and poured gold bars. It was fascinating, fascinating. So the best communication strategies are always going to provide an experience for the viewer, whether they have zero interest in it or a lot of interest. So when we talk about social media, one thing you got to remember, social media is a lot more than just posting online. It's social. Social means talking and listening at the same time. And there's an incredible amount of data that comes back for any mining company. One thing that comes back is a sentiment value. Sentiment value is what's your reputation. This is legitimate numbers. Anybody from BHP here? I've showed this to BHP people without asking, and they came back and said, I wish you wouldn't have done that. But so I'm not throwing BHP under the table here. So this is looking at the time frame around the Samarco tailings disaster in Brazil in 2015. So if we look at it, it's a 30-day data value change from November 11th. There are 23,000 posts just about BHP during that time frame. In the past, in the 30 days leading up to the Samarco tailings disaster, they had a the sentiment score of 53. So that's about 1 to 100. So 53 is pretty good. And for a reputation management index number, I would say being in that better half is usually pretty good. Solid, it's solid numbers. And then Samarco happened, and the 7 days from that, after that disaster, it dropped down to 17. And then the one day dropped down to 10. So we can see public sentiment and your reputation falling based on the data, the algorithms that put in about your reputation. This is good, serious data that any company can take, and you can even localize it to say, what's the community sentiment value? What is my local geographical 100 miles from my mine? What does that look like? What's the sentimental value of that? So we can see those numbers rise and lower all the time. Do you remember how much market value BHP lost just after this incident? It was $10 billion. But it was also like 7% of the total market value, which is kind of shocking to think of those big numbers like that. $10 billion and 7%. So when I talk to people about the value of social media, I try to look at it at a value mitigation factor and crisis factor. Is spending a couple $100,000 on a really good crisis and public communication strategy worth maybe mitigating your market loss when crisis happens? I would say it is. I would definitely say it is. And on the bright side, when crisis doesn't happen, you're also building trust and you're able to engage with your constituents and your community just by having a strategic communications strategy. So I like to go back and, after all the gloom and doom, and look at mining companies that are doing it right. Is there anybody from Barrick in here? So you guys are doing a great job. Just pat yourselves on the back. Their blog online called Beyond Borders. There's a real big push from Barrick going on about their digital transformation within the company and how they're really pushing all things digital for the sustainability of their mining operations. And what they do is they are a media company. They are producing their own media, their own content. They're putting it on this website here called Beyond Borders, and then they're also pushing all that content to all their social media networks as well, and they're getting incredible feedback. There's great images. They're spending a lot of time on the writing. Obviously, it's going through a lot of approval. It looks like there's professional journalism experiences going on with that content, and then obviously their images are really, really captivating. Newmont Mining, anybody from Newmont here? Just down the road. Their Facebook presence is really, really fun to watch. Their whole theme, I think, in the last year was mining sustainably. So they've really kept and stuck with that theme. They also have their own blog website, but their Facebook is fun to watch because they're getting a lot of good engagement, and I see a lot of the local communities, especially in Cripple Creek here in Colorado. They are really engaged with their Facebook page because everybody has a Facebook page, and so a local community, they can go on to that social media network and see what their company that really is a big asset in their town, what they're doing. Tech Resources up in Canada, I just wanted to highlight their Twitter. They do an excellent job of really captivating images from all their operations and putting it on the Twitter. And the funny thing is that from the last year and a half that I've been working uniquely in this social media mining, is Twitter has an abundance of opportunity within the industry. And if you think of all the media publications and some of the CEOs and a lot of the communications people within the mining industry, they are all on Twitter. I've had some of the best growth in my business come from connecting with mining people on Twitter. So if you don't have a Twitter account, I highly recommend just getting on and playing with it and see what you can find out about what's happening within the industry. There's a lot of great information there. And Tech Resources does a really excellent job. So if you're looking for inspiration about how to go about using Twitter for your organization, I highly recommend checking it out. The Nevada Mining Association, I know this is probably the largest member association of any state in the United States. What they do on their social media, especially their Facebook, is they go about highlighting their members. And it's not all about, KGHM is doing this at this mine. It's how many ounces did they produce? Here's what they're doing, how they're doing it differently. And then they'll go to another member of a different company and do a lot of the same things. So if you're a part of a membership organization such as SME, you have a lot of great tools and assets out there from your members that you can go about to produce really great content based on their activity. Obviously, it's going to take a little handshake and an agreement to do that type of thing, but it's really an awesome opportunity for you to highlight members of your organization. So how can mining improve communications online? Well, the first piece of advice I'm going to give you, I don't have a slide for us, but you have to do it. I really believe that being online and using social media is no longer negotiable. The numbers in the market say this is where people are consuming their information. You may not like it, you may not agree with it, but the facts are, Tom's laughing, but the facts are most people get their information by going on Facebook or Twitter or social media. The status of the internet right now is social media. The first thing we usually go to is Facebook. The data provides that back. And Facebook gives us everything we want to know because we've created this little box for ourselves. And it's on one homepage, one Facebook screen. And so we have to be there. If we want to improve the reputation of our industry, we have to be there. We have to be transparent about what we're doing. So that's my one non-slide advice. But how do you do that? You start with your people. It's obvious the industry does not have a very good reputation, but I'm here to tell you that it's not their fault. It's really the industry's fault, because we're not out front promoting what we do. We're not showing the value, and we're not giving the experience away. So we need to do that by starting with the people. And there's a good reason why. Because anybody will turn their back on the industry. Anybody, anytime will say, mining, they're terrible, they're polluters, they do bad work, they harm my environment. But they will never turn their back on a person, especially a person who shares their value experience working within an organization, especially mining or exploration or extraction. We start with the people, because they're more than just employees. They're also community members, and they carry that sleeve of their company with them wherever they go outside of the job. And typically, if they're good at brand ambassadors of your company, they'll be more than happy to share that experience with you in content. Reclamation, I believe, is one that's, you see it every once in a while, but I think it's undervalued, especially for what content looks like. I work on a website here in the state of Colorado called reclamationcolorado.com. It's the first website really devoted to highlighting reclaimed land after a mining operation just in the state. And I would show these images to friends and family of mine as we were building the website, and they're beautiful images. They're shocking, gorgeous. I mean, it's not hard to see gorgeous land here in Colorado, but I would show them these images, and they're like, oh, where is this? Well, I would say, it used to be an old coal mine. This is land where they used to mine. And they were floored. And so there, I have their attention, I have grasped it. So there's a great opportunity to show the mining's conservation efforts through the reclamation. It's a great opportunity to create content and share that experience with your followers and online. But you also have to commit to content. Commit to content doesn't mean, it's Thursday, I haven't posted anything on Facebook for 2 weeks, I should probably think about it. You should that should be the first thing you think of wherever you walk out of the office. Is there opportunity to capture video? Is there opportunity to capture some photos? Do I have a team of people that can help me do this? Who should I interview? What kind of people should I interview in my organization this week to share with my community the value? You have to stay committed. I always recommend getting a calendar, creating an editorial calendar with your team and saying, each week we want to highlight this, 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 and this, and then make sure there's people that are responsible for producing that content and then sharing it, whether it be on social media or online. But it takes a full-fledged commitment to get this done. Nothing is more aggravating, especially me as a marketing nerd, to go to a mining company's website or Facebook page that hasn't done anything in days. It just means you're not committed. And I know there's things that has happened in the last 3 days, or else the operation would be quit. This is a big kind of lasting piece of advice. If being a part of our world's advancement in sustainability is important to you, you have to participate in it. You can't just watch it go by. Mining has done that for far too long. As social media has come and expanded in the last 15 years, most mining companies have yet to adopt it and really utilize it and see the benefits of it. That can't go on anymore. You have to start somewhere, continue to grow. So that's my contact information. I'm a couple minutes short, so I think we have time for questions.
Sure.
I'll leave some cards up here, or you can come find me if you want. Is there any questions?
Just mentioned Facebook and Twitter predominantly. What about LinkedIn in terms of the networks used by the mining industry? Is there any statistics on the use of LinkedIn versus the other networks?
I mean, I don't have anything specific data that compares to social media networks for specifically for the industry. I know LinkedIn has really good discussion boards within the mining. There's like discussion groups for mining specifically that's really positive. And I know from my professional standpoint, like when I'm trying to promote some of the stuff Clear Creek Digital does, over about a week or two, I'll get some pretty good engagement just from those discussion groups on LinkedIn. But I think the main thing to remember is no matter what social media network you're on, you got to remember there's a difference between content and context, right? So a person going from LinkedIn is going to have one frame of mind. But if they go from LinkedIn straight to Facebook, their mindset has changed. They're looking for different types of engagement. So when companies create one post and then just blast it to Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and all the exact same thing, you're missing altogether what the context of each social media network is. So that's where you have to become a little bit of a practitioner with each one of them to understand how they operate and what the audience is like. Snapchat is probably going to be one of the biggest social media networks. Well, it already is, but there's potential for that to grow because we're seeing more 30, 40-year-olds adopt Snapchat because their kids are on it. The problem with Snapchat is it's really expensive to do any advertising or like really hard marketing for, so it's probably going to take a longer time period to bring in a bunch of followers. But like I said, if companies want to start recruiting those middle school, high school kids to consider mining, they're all on Snapchat. They are on Snapchat. And it's kind of a weird thing to say, but Snapchat is the future of mining.
Thanks, Trevor.
Thank you.